I have two questions. I happen to be reading. I have happened to be reading some of Shankaracharya's work, and because it relates with my thinking about Dvaita, that we are the one and we feel so blissful, we feel happy, we want to connect with everybody, we feel one with all other people, even though our gunas actually show up and it says this is not right, that's not, still we are able to overcome that, and we, even if something happens in Africa or somewhere, we feel united. So Shankaracharya says three things. Which actually I have a question about that. That is, he says for a person to achieve the blissful state or to achieve the highest level, he says we have to be born a human. We also have to be born a man, and then we must have the quest for spiritual thinking. So I don't know whether the interpretation is right or wrong, because I happened to read the Viveka Chudamani and I was reading other of his works also. Still, he mentions specifically like that. So that's my first question. Second question is,
what is the question? Shankaracharya says like that. What is the question there?
so my question is, I am a woman. So is it possible at all, or how to go about it? Or it's my interpretation also? Because after I was reading that, I was feeling a little bit disillusioned, because that cannot be right, because he's such an elevated soul and he might not have told something like that. So what does the Veda say, or what is your opinion on that? And second thing is, being in the normal life, I feel that a part of Karma Yoga and a part of Jnana Yoga or Bhakti, everything has to be in some dosage, mix, and then we have to choose the path of enlightenment, or what Buddha said, so, or awareness, as you noted today. So my first question was, that is my thinking about what I read is not right. Can you guide me on that? And the second question is about how to be a yogi in the normal life. Because once we are, I was reading about some of Swamiji's works, and he says that we have to seclude ourselves, we have to actually keep away until we are actually strong enough to face the world. So how is it possible to live a life like that when we are in the society here?
Okay. But see, when you read books, actually, when you read something, some Shankaracharya or any other book, you make your own conclusions normally. Each one have their conclusions. What he meant, you do not know. We have our own conclusions. And then we say Shankaracharya said like that, Ramanujacharya said like this, like that. So generally, actually, Shankaracharya, that he also he means he must be a man. So what here is means, actually, there is, in the case of a jiva, so you are a spirit, actually, basically you are a spirit. The spirit has, it is neither man nor woman. You understand me? The body has got the distinction that you are man and a woman. Suppose if you take the mind, whether the mind of a lady will have a lady mind, and the mind of a man is a man's mind, and the dog has got a dog's mind, like that. Have you any time thought about it? Eh?
Yes,
so
Swami.
Suppose you take, a tiger is there. What will be the, suppose if tiger thinks and a man thinks, is there any difference? You take, for example, a tiger sleeps and a man sleeps and a woman sleeps. Is there any difference?
No. But by thinking there is a difference, because we have been taught
No,
to perceive.
No, that's not at the level of thought. At the level of thought, suppose if the tiger thinks something, I should catch hold of that deer, if he thinks like that. That thought, and you think something, I should have this. At the thought level, there is no difference. Thought is thought, whether it's the tiger's thought or it is a man's thought, like that. So this is what I have said is from the Upanishad, actually. When a tiger sleeps, when an ant sleeps, when a man sleeps, it is absolutely, the sleep experience is same. There is no difference. Similarly, at the level of spirit, as we call it as the Atman or the Jiva. The Jiva, there is no difference between man, woman, etc. But when we speak something at a particular situation, at a particular condition, you say something in one way. The very same thing you can present it differently in another way. So normally the Vedanta is applicable, or the realization is possible to all beings, irrespective of whether he is a man or a woman, whether it's a boy or an old man. But sometimes in certain situations they say, oh, these people are very cultured. They're born in such a better situation. So it is easy for them to get realization. Take for example, there are more saintly people in India than in Europe or African countries. Why? There are saints in Europe also. But there are more saints in India than in any other country. Why? So there are certain conducive atmosphere here. Likewise, there are certain conducive situation for men to have realization faster than the other one. But it does not debar anybody. Even from the Vedic period, there were lady saints were there. Gargi was there. Maitreyi was there. There were rishis were there. There are the rishis is a masculine word. They call it as Rishika. There are Vedic mantras composed by the lady rishis are there. So these are all controversial questions by some people, but it does not mean that way. Shankaracharya doesn't mean that way. In so many places they say there are Shabari, we call it a Shabari is a realized saint. And then Madalasa was a realized saint. And now recently Anandamayi Ma was a realized saint. So many people are there. So whether it makes no difference whether it's a man or a woman, whether it's an Indian or a European, it makes no difference. But certain situations they say there are possibilities or more like that. So that is the first question, answer from the first question actually. And the second question, what was the second question?
Second question is, we were having this topic about be the yogi, that is a Bhagavad Gita statement actually. So yeah. I want to...
So the sadhana, then the other thing also, ordinary people, those who are worldly and those who are non-worldly, that distinction is also, it's not very correct actually. A person can be in Himalayas and leading a life of a mendicant, still his mind may be wandering in the worldly things. A person can be in New York or London, still he may be longing for God. Both are possible. So it makes no difference actually where you are, whether it is worldly people, ordinary people, the extraordinary people, such distinctions are not there. These are told at the empirical level. Whatever it is told at whether it is easy for a man is at an empirical level. It is not at the absolute level. Similarly, the people who are in a conducive atmosphere is there. That is also told at the empirical level. But anybody can make any atmosphere conducive actually. Even now you see you are in New York or in America and then talking about such high philosophy. So it makes no difference. Wherever you are, you can practice this. You can practice Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya together. All practices are ultimately a combination of all the yogas. So Gurudev calls it as integral yoga. Little of Bhakti, little of Jnana Yoga, little of Karma Yoga, and a little of Raja Yoga. So all these things has to be practiced simultaneously by all people, whether they are in the metropolitan cities or whether in rural areas or whether leading a life of mendicant in a place of solitude also. It makes no difference. all have to do the same thing. Is it okay?
Thank you, Swamiji. I feel very blessed. It's that part of my ignorance it's really very clear. I feel much better now. So yesterday I was reading about avidya and how actually
See, now we are using this technology actually. Now we are
yes,
using this technology, and
yes,
it is not, you cannot have it in the caves actually. You
yes,
cannot have
yes,
it in the caves. It's not possible. Okay, you may not have internet.
yes. I always believe that when we have a question, the universe always answers. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
it is, yeah, this is your actually the universe for us now.
And
You have been able to
yes,
answer. Uh,
this has been told. This has been told in the in the olden days. Janaka was the king actually, but he was a realized saint. Although he was involved in administration and all these things, he was a realized saint. Janaka was a realized saint. Vasishtha was a householder. He was a realized rishi. So many people were there. So they were in they were doing. They were in the world. They had all the activities. They were not mendicants. They were not sannyasis, but they were realized.
Yes, but the continuation of that, if you see Swamiji, we interact with people. People have so many activities, so many thoughts. The condition of the mind when being in the society or in the office, when we are working, we feel different. And Swamiji says in his writing, I was reading about this, he says we have to be the one person in all the places. So that is not possible sometimes. So how do we
You
be
have,
like that?
you have to spiritualize all your activities. When you are in the office also, you should be the Gauri who is seeking the ultimate reality. Whether you are in the office or whether you are cooking, it makes no difference. That you should feel that I am part and parcel of that supreme reality. You are interacting with the reality. That feeling you should have in the back of the mind. You see that I was mentioning about the Kuchipudi dance, where the girl keeps a pot of water on her head.
Yes.
Likewise, you should always connect yourself to God and do all your activities.
Thank you.